Having a team that self-regulates through shared accountability is a powerful way to ensure the team and individual team members can reach their potential. I am sure most of us show accountability for the job at hand, and I am sure most managers promote accountability within their team. But how can you create a culture that self-regulates through shared accountability? How can you create a culture where the team members hold each other accountable in a respectful way that raises the team up collectively? Feedback is a powerful tool to help, but many are either hesitant or unwilling to provide feedback. Let's see why. We have all been in environments where feedback is either too direct or too polite. We have seen that these can lead to hostile or obstructive environments at the extremes. This experience gives us an uneasy feeling when thinking about providing feedback. We don't want to be that person. We value the relationships we built and don't want to disrupt the apple cart. But guess what? It does not have to be that way. In fact, by not providing respectful feedback, you are doing the team a disservice. Let's start with the idea that not all feedback is negative. I know we often make the leap that feedback equals criticism, but feedback also equals recognition. Creating a feedback culture grounded in respect opens up recognition just as much as criticism. Think about that. Now, think about criticism. Yes, I know it is uncomfortable, but without respectful criticism, we will not know where there is room for improvement, and therefore will not know how to improve. Look at the spectrum. We need to find that goldilocks spot between being direct and being polite. Going too far in one direction will create an unhealthy feedback culture. So how do we thread that needle? To start, I would suggest using a feedback journal. This will allow you to remember situations that struck you as warranting feedback, and it will help you prepare your thoughts ahead of giving that feedback. I don't want you to overcomplicate it. The journal is there to help if you need it, but not a mandatory step. In some cases, you may be comfortable providing the feedback more fluidly. What I like to do is note when the situation occurred that I wanted to give feedback based on and who I am giving feedback to. I then note how they either met or did not meet expectations. Remember, it is important to track and give both recognition and criticism. In both cases, I like to provide what they did well and what they could improve. Although I would caution that sometimes a simple "you did a great job" goes a long way. Again, don't overcomplicate this. If I played a part in a situation, I also try to note and share what I could have done better. And lastly, I hold myself accountable with a date that I want to follow up with the feedback. Okay, wow, that feels formal. Can I just give the person feedback? Well, of course you could. But there are always cases where the feedback needs to be thoughtful, or you are just so busy you don't get around to providing the feedback. Use the journal. It helps. Here are some guidelines to keep in mind for those situations where feedback may be touchy. This is intended to have a positive outcome, even if it is tough feedback. So remember to lead with respect. You might want to ask yourself, could your teammate benefit from the feedback? If the answer is no, you should reconsider giving the feedback. Make sure you provide the feedback in a timely manner. Waiting too long diminishes the impact, but you also don't want to provide feedback if emotions are running high, so use your judgment. When you provide the feedback, it helps to call it out up front. Start with, "I wanted to provide feedback on," and then get to the point. Make sure you describe how this has an impact on both you and them and indicate your wish to help resolve or improve. It is important that they feel comfortable that you are providing the feedback to help. If the feedback is secondhand, you can reframe the feedback around perception and give suggestions as to why others might have the perception. Ask them for their perspective. Once you have their perspective, it is important to pivot to problem solving. Try to solve with "we" instead of "you" and encourage multiple paths to resolution. Lastly, thank them for being open-minded and ensure them that you are in it together. I know that feedback could be tough and that this material might feel intense, but with practice and preparation, we can take a Goldilocks approach and lead with respect to ensure we are neither too direct nor too polite. I assure you, once a feedback culture is established and we get comfortable providing respectful feedback, this becomes second nature. Please join me in creating comfort in the workplace by respecting team members and demanding excellence.